Diepkloof residents will have their lights on for Christmas. Eskom disconnected around 700 homes about a month ago, which resulted in violent protest. Power has now been restored. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is there and joins us now. A very good afternoon to you, Maqingwane. So the power is finally restored. How are the residents feeling?
Well, Murena, residents here in Diepkloof Zone 3 are quite excited this afternoon. In fact, many of them telling us earlier on that they are breathing a sigh of relief. They had been anticipating a bleak Christmas with no lights on due to the outages here in this particular community. You recall, of course, that Eskom had pulled the plug on residents here after it had found that there was a culture of non-payment as well as illegal connections here in this particular area, but also the issue of people that were purchasing electricity from what we call ghost vendors and not really going through the right channels so far as Eskom is concerned to purchase electricity. And you recall Eskom also saying that they are not going to restore this power until the residents pay a fine. They had imposed a fine of 6,000 rand per house for those affected residents, and insisting that they will not reconnect them up until they pay this particular fine. But of course the residents at the time saying that they simply cannot afford to pay that money. They instead opted to pay 500 rand per household to Eskom to try and get their power back. And we do understand that the negotiations between the residents as well as the Premier's office and Eskom had been ongoing for the past few weeks. You recall that just about 2 weeks ago, in fact, the residents had then had a meeting here where they agreed to pay 500 rand per household to Eskom in order for them to reconnect them. And so those negotiations, we understand, have now come to this point. Around about 10:30 this morning, we did see the lights coming back on. And I can tell you, Morena, that just a few hours ago, the scenes that we saw here, it was as if the Christmas celebrations had started here in Diepkloof, because residents took to the streets. They marched throughout the streets, celebrating, singing and ululating, and really thankful that the power is back. They're saying that tomorrow they're expecting a good Christmas, given the fact that they now have their electricity restored. But we also did speak to the local councillor here from the area, who says that the residents are really committed this time around to pay for their electricity. She says that they are going to be paying up, but also they want Eskom to fix some of the issues that the community has. But take a listen to what she had to say earlier on.
I'm very much excited that the community of Diepkloof Zone 3 finally, tomorrow is Christmas, they're having electricity. We've been fighting, we've been in the street day in, day out. We never slept until now, but I feel very relieved. Our community was celebrating today for the lights. As you know, Soweto Freeway was closed for everybody. Now Soweto Freeway is officially open. The community of the Diepkloof Zone 3 are busy cleaning the street and they're preparing for celebration tomorrow. They'll be celebrating in the Soweto Freeway. So they're happy with the electricity.
Maqingwane, what do we understand about this agreement between Eskom and the people of Diepkloof? I mean, what is being said by Eskom? What is the long-term arrangement, if any?
Well, what you do understand, Muren, at this particular point is that these parties have agreed that the residents that were fined that 6,000 rand would actually be paying 500 rand for the next 3 years. That's understanding according to community members and the community leaders that we spoke to earlier on. They're saying that the agreement is that each and every household will be going forward paying that 500 rand up until that 6,000 rand fine that was imposed by Eskom has been completed. So in terms of the debt that has been owed, we've heard from Eskom before saying that the bill here in Diepkloof alone goes up to 90 million rand in just the past 8 months. So that bill, the residents saying that they won't be entertaining that, because this is a bill that was accumulated prior to this arrangement that was made with Eskom. But they are saying that, however, they are willing to pay for electricity. They're saying that going forward they want Eskom to also try and fix some of the issues that had been raised. You recall that some of the residents are saying that Eskom had come to this area in 2018 promising to actually replace some of those old meters with a new billing system in their houses. And of course, they're saying Eskom since then has not honored its promise to come to the community members. So they're really hoping that Eskom will fix these issues and also carry an audit here in the community to establish who exactly is paying for electricity and who is not paying for electricity. So they're saying that they're going to continue, and they're saying that these 500 rands that they're paying are a commitment to show Eskom that the residents of Diepkloof are really willing to pay for their electricity. But also, we spoke to one of the march leaders from the Soweto Parliament, who is the president, in fact, of the Soweto Parliament in Laks, who's been at the forefront and really saying that residents will wait to see what Eskom will do in terms of those problems. But take a listen to what he had to say earlier on.
The agreement is such that the debt from yesterday is no longer a discussion. It's scrapped off. So we are working towards the 6,000, paying it in the terms that I've just presented, 500 rands, until each household reaches the 6,000. Because 6,000 at a go for our households is an impossible ask. It's impractical, because we're talking about houses that live off 350 rands and other grants from government.